Hola, buenas tardes, chicos y chicas, o buenos días si es por la mañana. Bueno, hoy es el 27 de abril, hoy es martes para periodo 5 y es miércoles para periodo 6. Bueno, tengo esta blusa porque creo que el martes, no el miércoles, pero el martes es el día tropical para la semana de ánimo. For Spirit Week, it's tropical day. So the best I could do is un collar de Hawaii, y so a necklace from Hawaii, y esta blusa que no es de Hawaii, pero es más o menos tropical, más o menos. Bueno, chicos, vamos a hablar un poco en inglés por un momentito y así empiezo. Here we go. So first of all, you guys, make sure right now, if you don't already have it out, that you have your libretas out and on your desk or your table, wherever you are at home. So if you need to pause the video right now, hacer pausa, just click on pause as if you didn't know how to do that, and go get your libretas because you're going to definitely need to be writing in them today. There's no other way to do it but writing in them, so get something to write in if it's not your libreta. I'm not going to pause much longer because you can pause it on your own. So we're going to be writing in just a little bit. You don't have to write just yet because the first thing I want just to remind you of, I'm going to stick some office hours type things in this video because some people, you might be skipping the office hours videos. I'm not sure. You shouldn't. Please don't. You should watch those. They're usually only 8 to 10 minutes long. But just in case, just remember what happened the first week, la primera semana. When we came back, we were doing vocabulario de 4.2, and that was vocabulario like, remember the things like for waiter, el camarero, la propina for a tip. You had different foods like el brócoli, el pollo, la ensalada, ¿qué más? El pescado for fish, el pastel, el bistec. You had several verbs like to sleep, dormir, some of the other O to UE stem changing verbs that we're going to review in just a second. El café, the cafe, el cine, the movie theater, etc. So for that first week, and most of you have done this, there's still a few of you who haven't, and you guys please, because I can't wait much longer. I was giving you latitude the first couple of weeks, but you need to start turning things in on time, because I think by now most of us have figured out how this all works. Again, it's pretty easy in my class because it's YouTube and School Loop, but still, I know you got to get set up for it and you got to take the time to watch it. Please try to watch it at the time class is, because you shouldn't be watching something else during my class, or you shouldn't be watching my video during somebody else's class, if you can. In the end, you're going to watch it when you watch it. So most of you have turned in your homework, but some of you are still late with it. So again, I think starting really today, you have to have your work in on time. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take some points off of it for being late. And then also a reminder, por favor, I can't stress this enough, you guys. So many of you do this right away. The second you see the video, you should email me in the subject line. Again, you don't have to write an email, just in the subject line, the 2 words of the day. Please don't forget to do that and do it right away, because I'm having to call your parents and call you to find out if you watched the video, and that's just taking way too much of my time, you guys, and that's not supposed to be my job anymore. I think it really was okay to do that the first couple of weeks. I totally think so, but it's not going to be from now on. So do it right away. The second week we went over O to UE stem changing verbs. I lumped that in with the first week, but it was actually the second week. And those were, the verbs like poder. We'll talk about those in just a second. And then your homework for the second week, la segunda semana, was workbook pages. Again, for the first week, there were also workbook pages for vocabulary, right? Para vocabulario. For the second week, you had the O to UE verbs, the stem changing verbs, and the vocab pages were related to that. I have not inundated you with massive amounts of homework by any means, but it's still been a lot. But I'm going to increase it just a little bit, but very, very little. Hopefully you won't notice so much, but I need to increase it a little bit so we cover what we need to by the end of the year. Don't forget you have 1 week to turn in the assignment, but no more, 1 full week. Look at the due date, because somebody said they were confused on when things were due, but the due date's right there. So if I sign it today, martes, for period 5, it's not due till the next Tuesday. And I think I said this before, Period 5 gets a caveat here. You actually don't have it due until the following Wednesday. You get a week plus a day because I'm making it due the same day period 6 is, just to make it easier on you. My plan is to have WebEx meetings for office hours starting next week. Again, I did YouTube on purpose for both things for the first couple of weeks to try to make it easier for you. It's easier for me too, but it was definitely really supposed to make things easier for you. So don't forget though, for office hours, until we do the WebEx for office hours, don't forget that I'm still doing the videos. I'm here and I'm compiling your questions and I'm answering them in the office hours video. So a lot of you keep asking questions that I'm covering in the office hours, and it'd be awesome if you watch those videos in the first place so we wouldn't get the questions too many times. But again, it's a big learning curve at the beginning. Una curva grande de aprendizaje. A big learning curve at the beginning for everybody, for me too, you guys, and for all your teachers. So hang in there, and please, please, please email me if you have a question for office hours or just a question, because I'm finding out some kids are maybe kind of, I wouldn't say complaining to their parents, but they're kind of saying things to their parents, and parents are emailing me, which is totally fine. I love hearing from parents, but I'd rather hear it from you first, preferably. So I'm here, I'm answering those emails. I've been really good. And to mention one thing, from here on out, I wasn't, every time you sent a homework assignment, I wasn't answering your email for that, because that's a lot of emails. But from now on, I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick reply when I get your homework, just so you know I got it. Even though you could see where it says email sent successfully, I think some people would really like the feedback. So I'm just going to email you right away with that little thumbs up icon. If I have something I need to say, I'll say it in there, but I won't be able to say a whole lot for most of them because I'm going to be kind of pushed for time. So at least you'll get a thumbs up icon that I got it. And if I make a mistake and I don't count your homework, if all you have to do is email me and say, Ms. Street, I did turn that in, and I know you got it because I got a thumbs up, and then I'll look back through your emails. I can look them all up, and because they're all there. I never get rid of your emails, and I can see that you did send it, and then I go, oh, my bad, I messed up, mi error, and then I change your grade. We're almost ready for the lesson for today, you guys, I think. Oh, I know, last thing. Most of you have figured out how to send your homework, almost everybody, and I'm sorry for those people that was frustrating, but you guys hung in there. Still, a few of you have not, so please send it to me. But if you cannot, send it by taking a picture and doing the steps that James H. from period 5 made. That was a 1-minute quick little screenshot of how to do it. If you can't do it the way he suggested, then I'm going to give you my phone number and you can text it to me. And we all know how to send things by text, pictures by text, so there's no problem. Several kids have done that. I had the suggestion from Andres in period 5, so gracias Andres, that was your suggestion. I didn't even think about that. Duh. Street. Calle. So there's no excuse for you not to give me your homework, because the texting will always work, texting a photo. And ask me personally if you need that number. I'm not going to give it out to everybody unless individuals need it. Okie dokie. Fantástico. Hoy, la lección de hoy. Ustedes van a escribir, you're going to be writing here in a couple seconds in your libretas. Y la lección es un poco más información sobre los verbos que cambian de raíz o a u e. So a little more practice, to do the practice a little bit differently with the o to ue verbs, and instead of moving on to anything else just right yet in this lesson. Because some people, you guys emailed me your, for example, looking like something like this in your libretas, and you guys did your little charts. That was awesome. Some people even did the boot. Some people put the UE in different colored letters, which is awesome. You didn't have to do that, but it was awesome if you did. So there's going to be, what you're doing right now in a second, writing in your libretas is one of the first things of homework. So it's coming up right here in the video. And then there'll be other homework that you'll see in School Loop here in the next short bit of time, like really short bit of time. So abran sus libretas. Remember, open them up. Ustedes necesitan un lápiz o pluma. Make sure you have a pen or pencil. Y ustedes van a escribir estos verbos en español. Yo los digo, I'm going to say the verbs en inglés. Ustedes van a escribir los verbos en español. No las conjugaciones. You don't have to write the conjugations, just write the equivalent Spanish verb that I give you in English. Bueno, you could title this, this is actually not part of your homework. This is just practice work right here. But if you wanted to title it, stem changing O to UE verb practice. This part's practice. The next part coming here in a minute is homework. Okay, so escribe este verbo. Please write this verb down. To be able to. To be able to. This is also known as the can verb, like I can do that or I cannot do that. ¿Cómo es? Bueno, número dos. That was número uno. Número dos. And if you don't know one, leave it blank. Número dos. ¿Cómo se dice to return? To return or come back. Número tres. ¿Cómo se dice to have lunch? To have lunch. Maybe some of you have already had it today. Although it's, if you're watching this at 11 o'clock, maybe not, maybe you'll have it later. Número cuatro. ¿Cómo se dice to cost? To cost. Remember, these are all O to UE, some changing verbs, right? Fantástico. Número cinco. ¿Cómo se dice to sleep? To sleep. Did you guys ever learn the song Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous? That was a song in French, right, for little kids. The sleeping song. So their verb in French sounds a lot like the one in Spanish. Y número seis, to find. ¿Cómo se dice to find? So hopefully you've written all those down, you guys. I'm going to show them to you in order in case you didn't get them. I think I have them in order. I think so. So, ¿cómo se dice to be able to, or the can verb? Remember, it's poder. All you had to write was poder. You didn't have to write the conjugations. Poder. Right? Muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice to return? Number two should have been volver. To return. Again, you didn't have to do the conjugations, just the verb volver. Fantástico. How are you guys doing? Número tres, to have lunch. Almorzar. Almorzar. Número cuatro, to cost. Costar. Costar. Fantástico. Remember, that's the one that only really has the two conjugations. ¿Cómo se dice to sleep? Oh, something we all love to do. Dormir. Dormir. Y número seis, ¿cómo se dice to find? This one, I don't know why this one's hard sometimes for people. Starts with an E. E-N-C-O-N-T-R-A-R. Encontrar. Remember, to encounter or to find something. Okay, so that was the first part. That was práctica. That was practice. How'd you guys do? ¿Qué tal? How'd it go? Easy, fácil, difícil? You should know these. And before moving on, because we don't have the day-to-day practice, that's why you're supposed to do those oral practices that I give as homework that you don't have anything to submit on. But you need to do those, and you need to practice the vocabulario. Somebody was telling me, I was talking to somebody the other day on the phone, and they said they were having trouble remembering all the vocabulary. Just make sure you take your vocab list out like you would have done before and practice it. And cover one side up, el español o el inglés. Also go to ClassZone.com and do your little flashcards or Quizlet. So you're going to have to do that on your own. That's practice, individual practice that you have to do on your own. Even though we don't get it in here, you have to do that to be able to remember that stuff. How could we all remember without practicing? No es posible. I am just remembering the first word of the day, la primera palabra del día. So this will be what you're going to email me immediately in the subject line as soon as you see this, both of the words. The first word it's not Don like Don, Donald Duck. It's don, porque es español. Don, and the equivalent really is sir, the best way to say it in English. So, don, otra vez. Now, what you can do in Spanish with this is, say there's somebody in the neighborhood, think of like somewhere in Mexico. Somebody in the neighborhood that they really respect. This man is very reputable. He's good to people. Maybe he's a businessman, maybe he's a doctor, or maybe he's just a really, really good, solid person. And you want to give him an extra title of respect rather than just señor. You can use don actually with his first name or his last name. So let's say his name was Pepe. It could be Don Pepe. You could also use his last name, Don Ruiz. You could do either one. Sir. So don, don, don. And some people will say he has the gift of don, meaning he has the gift of sir. It doesn't really make any sense there, but it just means he's a classy guy. So that's don, first word of the day. Bueno, chicos. Now, do you guys remember the dictados? We did these in Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, where you guys would write things in your libretas. And I remember this was hard for people, right? You wrote them down exactly how I said them in Spanish. This is kind of like that, sort of, in that you're going to write the questions down as I read them to you. You're not going to see them. So you have to do this by ear. Los oídos. Es práctica oral. You're going to write down the questions as I say them to you in your libretas. Please, after you write the question, leave 2 lines blank so that you can answer the question in a complete sentence later. Don't try to answer them during the video. Please do that afterwards. And just do your best. If you misspell something, it's okay. Please underline the verb that I give you in each sentence. These are going to be practice sentences with O to UE, stem changing verbs. And this might be a little hard, so don't just give up. What you can do is write down the questions, and when you go to answer them later, if it's easy, fantastico. If it's not, then take your time, take out your conjugation charts, look at them. You can look up words on, obviously, Google Translate if you need to, individual words, but hopefully not whole sentences if you get confused, to be able to answer them. So again, we're going to write down the question in Spanish right now. Hay 6, we have 6 of them. You'll leave 2 lines blank afterwards. You'll go back later and answer them. Número 1. I'll repeat them. We'll do them twice. Número 1. ¿Cuántas horas duermes por la noche? So you should be writing. Ustedes deben estar escribiendo. Doing your best, even if you're not exactly sure what I just said. Try. Do not sit there and not try it. That's not acceptable. No es aceptable. You can do this. Sí se puede. Número 1, otra vez. Number 1, once again, was ¿cuántas horas duermes por la noche? Nice thing about this, of course, is you can come back to it later and repeat it. So, even if you don't get it the first time. Número 2, but try the first time. Número 2, ¿cuánto cuestan las entradas al cine? ¿Cuánto cuestan las entradas al cine? Número 3. ¿En qué mes vuelven ustedes a la escuela? ¿En qué mes vuelven ustedes a la escuela? Número 4. ¿Pueden hablar español tus padres? ¿Pueden hablar español tus padres? Número 5. Man, how I wish I was actually looking out at you guys sitting in my desks. Next year, unless you're a 9th grader. And that's if I'm teaching here next year. Maybe the year following. Anyway, número 5. ¿Qué almuerzas en un día típico? ¿Qué almuerzas en un día típico? Again, if you don't know a word, just write it like it sounds. I try to use cognates only, words that sound like they do in English, or words that we know in Spanish already. Y número 6, last one, you guys. ¿Dónde encuentras la tarea para la clase de español. ¿Dónde encuentras la tarea para la clase de español? That question may confuse you at first, but try to think about that. Try to think of what I'm looking for there. It might be a little confusing. Okay. So let me say this before I go on. Again, this will be homework that you're going to be taking a picture of later and submitting to me. So if you write the answers down soon and it's not really legible, then please obviously go back and rewrite the questions for me, nice and legible. And rewrite the questions and rewrite the answers in complete sentences. Certainly in these sentences, you have to, like I always say, you have to include the verb in the sentence, some form of the verb, because the verb is what I want you to get practice with, especially the stem changing verb. So again, you're just going to make sure the question is clear at some point, clearly written, the answer underneath it with the verbs underlined. Por favor, do that for me because that'll really help. And then you'll take a picture. Instead of submitting your libretas, you're doing the exact same thing. You're just doing it and then taking a picture of it and sending it to me. Now, if I were to model kind of how I would not answer necessarily these, but similar questions, but just listen to this if you guys would, escuchen, because this just kind of gives you an idea. And again, it's not going to be word for word on any of the questions or on some of them, but let me just I'll go in kind of the order I did them too. Por ejemplo, for example, yo duermo más o menos 9 horas por la noche. Me gusta dormir mucho. Y a veces solo duermo 8 horas o 7 o 6, pero prefiero dormir 9. En mi opinión, es mi opinión, entradas al cine cuestan más o menos $10, no sé, más o menos $10. Now again, I don't want to answer every one of these for you, so let me kind of stray a little bit, but just to give you some ideas with the verbs. Normalmente yo vuelvo a la escuela en agosto, pero para ustedes van a usar otro verbo, ¿no? Y almorzar, let me use a sentence with almuerzo in there, or almorzar in there, that's not necessarily answering the question. So I could say, a veces mis amigos y yo almorzamos en mi casa, no durante COVID-19, pero a veces almorzamos en nuestras casas y a veces almorzamos sándwiches o sopa, algo fácil. Pero me gusta mucho almorzar con mis amigos. Y ustedes también, me imagino. Y el verbo encontrar, how could I use that without answering the question at all? So I could say right now, like, if I'm looking for my pen, encuentro mi pluma. Encuentro mi pluma, aquí está. Oh, ¿dónde está la ardilla? Where's our squirrel, our resident squirrel? Lo encuentro, or la encuentro aquí. I find him right here. Aquí está. Bueno, eso es un poco de práctica con los verbos que cambian, the stem changing verbs. Again, write the questions clearly and write your answers clearly. At a later time, take a picture, saca una foto y mándamelas. Make sure you send them to me in School Loop. Bueno, let me think. What did I want to tell you guys here? That's really it for today. I wanted to keep this to about 25 minutes. So look for additional homework in School Loop besides this one. This is the first assignment for this week, but there'll be at least one more, if not two more. And la última palabra del día, the last word of the day. Now, remember the first word was don, right? So like for sir, for a title of respect for a particular man in the neighborhood that's very respectable. And interestingly, maybe you could guess this, there's a female equivalent, which would be kind of like madam. But it's kind of funny because madam is actually a French word. But because there's no real equivalent to sir for a female. But if somebody you again really wanted to respect in your neighborhood, again maybe she was oh, I want to use this word so badly, a curandera. This is not the word of the day. Curanderas in Mexico are healers. So, and they're usually women. Curanderas could be a curandero. So they're healers that usually use homeopathic remedies for people to heal them. Some people truly believe in it, and other people don't. And some people sort of do, or didn't used to. But then a curandera comes and they get cured of their ailment, and suddenly they believe. I wish they could cure us of COVID. That would be awesome. Anyway, if the woman in your neighborhood is a curandera or somebody you highly respect for whatever reason, the equivalent to don in female, ¿qué puede ser? What could it be? ¿Qué puede ser? What could it be? How about doña? So you just add a ñ instead of the regular na, doña. And so you would say Doña Sofia or Doña Cruz, if you wanted to use her last name. You could do it either way. Bueno, chicos, es todo por hoy. That's it all for today. Again, oh my goodness, get me those words of the day right away, por favor. And get your homework in on time. And let me know if you have any questions. And then look for, it should happen next week. It's my plan to have WebEx offers office hours next week. The class will still be coming to you via YouTube, but the office hours via WebEx. Then you can ask questions in person, en persona. Hasta luego. Los quiero. Love you guys. Y hasta pronto. See you guys soon.